I literally been kicked out of a bar so many times.
I really haven't.
I have. And
that doesn't surprise
me. The
me.
weird thing is it's always been with attorneys. Is that crazy?
Repping you? Like, I'm our attorney.
No, I got my guy here with me. No, it was like friends of mine that happened to be attorneys. And I was like, how did this happen?
Because, look, I'm not sure about these sleeves. This is,
I think this sweater, if you are watching on YouTube,
sweater.
which you can watch the podcast on YouTube, you guys, or you can listen wherever podcasts are listened to. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram,
sometimes
Twitter.
we Twitter. We're not on TikTok, but I watch a lot of it.
But if you are watching YouTube, I bought my lesbian wife, Kristin, this leopard print sweater that's got loose sleeves, and I love it.
I'm not a loose sleeve girl.
Casey, what do you think? Do you like it?
This is not effective for everyday use. Am I supposed to put stuff in the air fryer with that?
I wear kimonos all the time, so I can't be reasoned with.
This is why I usually wear a tank top and jeans and something I can move in and maybe a hat.
Basically, think of that old like Rosie the Riveter cartoon. That's what she's wearing most of the time.
Yeah. I love a good coverall.
She wore that to the prom, you guys. But I do find myself sometimes like in weird leopard print pants and a kimono, and I'm like, why am I vacuuming this? All I'm doing is like catching my sleeves on shit.
If Jen doesn't look like Mrs. Roper, she doesn't feel like she's hit
showed up. I haven't showed
her fashion.
Honestly, if I don't look like that, be concerned. Because
you're wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater tonight, and I think it's adorable.
It is not Freddy Krueger. It's red.
I'm sorry. Describe it. Red and gray stripes.
It's
I'm
Paul
sorry.
Smith
Would you like
black
to know?
Label that I got at the sample sale, you guys.
And it looks like Freddy Krueger. And everyone
Freddy
will
Krueger wears a red and green sweater and like a leather hat and has a.
Would you like me to go get your hat that you left here, and then we can put it on, and you can literally be
What
pretty?
Do you look like, Carol Baskin? You're wearing a leopard print sweater that I bought for you.
I'm not saying your skin looks like Freddy Krueger, you butthole. I'm saying your sweater looks like Freddy Krueger, and it's cute. Don't glare at me. I can't see you glaring. I can see her glaring.
I'm not even glaring. Hold on, let me glare at you. Hold on.
Okay, do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I didn't have time to prep. I didn't have time to prep.
She opened her eyes more. That's not a glare.
Well, let's talk about you mislabeling mid-century modern furniture, and then I'll get really pissed.
Yeah, I don't want to get in a fist fight.
I'll tell you what makes me mad right now.
Let's go.
If you put something on
Facebook
Marketplace or Craigslist and you write $1 is the price, you better be fucking prepared to sell me that curio cabinet for $1. Otherwise, it is.
Why do people put $1 not free?
It makes me so mad. No. They don't.
They're not $1, then you get there and they're like $50.
No, then they have like a list. Oh, I'm selling multiple things, and they're all like $400 each.
That's
criminal.
Literally criminal.
It is
Do
so
not
criminal.
waste my time.
No, it makes me so mad. It's keeps happening right now.
I would write a letter.
Well,
I would write a letter to Facebook. Not
do you think
I would write a literal letter because no one does that. And it would get through.
Let me tell you 2 things I do, which make me either great or terrible, and actually both.
That is our quest here.
If you are giving away a dog on Craigslist, I will personally message you and say, please be careful, because you could be giving it to somebody who might be unkind, like charge a little bit.
I sort of feel like they're being unkind for giving a dog away free on Craigslist.
I know, but sometimes they're desperate.
Go to a rescue.
No,
it's not that hard.
I know, but you got it. People just don't know all the time.
And we got Google. You can know. Don't be a dummy.
But genuinely, people messaged me back and they were like, really? Thank you for telling me. I didn't know that.
What's your address? Can I drop off my dog? That's what they're really asking.
Why do
you.
I have
And I have
dogs
this cabinet that's mid-century modern, and it's $1.
It's not mid-century modern. Look it up, man. I would give you a pass if it were even brutalist. It's not. It's not.
This is literally the thing she gets most mad about.
It's 1980s crap.
I know. Ugh. And then it's like that shitty wood. I'm like, is it real wood? I don't want it to be the crappy, like, what is it called? The wood that's all put together. It's fake wood. Particle board. I don't want that.
That's the other thing. I will message you and
Just tell me if it's real wood.
I will say, this is not properly stamped. It's not a genuine article. Please do not list it as such.
Jen is there. I'm happy that we have online police because she is one of them and she's a deputy, and I'm happy to have her.
You know what? I've got a job to do and I'll do it.
I'm happy to have her.
Your $50 is not worth
my time or somebody's driving to the freaking desert to
You
get
want to disappoint people?
hutch.
Is that who you want to be in life? Somebody that just disappoints people buying furniture? No.
I got to tell you that most of the time I have really good luck on Facebook Marketplace, and I
I
don't
do
know why it
too.
feels better than Craigslist, but I do like it a lot better.
That's why I feel like
Sight
'cause
unseen.
you see that it's a person that's real
Yeah.
and they're not a bot, and you're like, okay, so you work at Bank of America. Obviously, you don't want to pass something
Yeah,
off as
you've
being
got
a
a couple
genuine
coffee
article, and
tables
it's
that you've
not.
upgraded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your old ones off your hands.
I'm just going to help you categorize this
Yeah.
correctly because that is what I do.
Don't tell me you're
instead
gonna
of
sell an
vacuuming my own home.
IKEA thing. IKEA, not Ikea. IKEA, because I know all of IKEA. You can't call it like, just save it.
Oh, lovely Swedish.
Bull.
No.
IKEA. If it's
We
Swedish,
all
it's
know what you're
IKEA.
doing.
It's
Yeah.
like a Furfanugan shelf. It's IKEA. Don't try to sell it to me for $250 because you assembled it, even though that might be the reason to
That
buy it.
actually will. I'm like, I would probably rather buy a year-old IKEA shelf
100%.
that's
But
assembled.
don't try to
than
charge me more
Exactly.
than what it's worth because I know
Exactly.
what's been in there and it's your kid's crap and we've all done the same
So
thing.
you know
I
what?
just want a reasonable price.
Message them.
Message.
Message them and let them know.
I do love a good haggle. That's my dad and me. That's Dewey. I want to talk to you about goals, not your health goals, not your career goals, and not your relationship goals, the ones that matter. Have you thought about your hair goals?
Literally seconds ago, I was just thinking about them because I have bleached blonde highlights in my hair and it gets a little
No.
crispy. Yeah, I know. Everybody's shocked. But by the way, when I did my quiz and I told Function of Beauty about that, they sent me this awesome hair mask, which I have to remember to do every week because as soon as I do it, my hair is like back to normal again and not like crunchy and dry.
It's actually quite easy. First of all, you go and you take an online quiz and you talk about your hair. You talk about your hair types and your goals, such as to lengthen or volumize or oil control. And because your hair changes with the season, you can change your hair goals before every shipment. And then the Function of Beauty team works their magic and they determine the right blend of ingredients and mail out your personalized formula with detailed instructions.
Plus, Function of Beauty offers completely personalized formulas for body and skincare as well, so you can customize your beauty routine from hair to toe.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, never buy off the shelf, you guys, just to be disappointed ever again. Go to functionofbeauty.com/IMOMSOHARD to take your quiz and save 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products.
Go to functionofbeauty.com/IMOMSOHARD to let them know we sent you and to get 20% off your order.
functionofbeauty.com/IMOMSOHARD.
You know how you like to sell stuff online?
I like to buy stuff online, that's
I
for
know,
sure.
but I know that you secretly like to sell stuff online so you can buy stuff online. And that means you're in the right business because more people are shopping online now more than ever. So no matter how much you sell, ShipStation makes it super easy to manage and ship out all of your orders faster, cheaper, and more efficiently, all in one simple interface.
Yeah, you know what? I barely have time to send stuff out that some people have bought from My Mom So Hard. So well, I need help being more productive, and thank God for ShipStation.
You'll even get access to amazing discounts with major carriers, including UPS, FedEx, and USPS. Easily compare carriers and choose the best solution every time.
It's no wonder ShipStation has more 5-star reviews than any other shipping software.
Ship more in less time.
Just use our offer code MOM to get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in MOM, M-O-M. That's ShipStation.com and enter offer code MOM. Make ship happen, people. We're together. We're in the same room. We're podcasting. And today we have to get to it. We're going to talk
have
about
a really fun episode. This is,
my
we're
God.
going to talk about celebrity sightings.
I think there's stories that we're going to tell each other that we
maybe
haven't talked about
we don't
before.
know. Well, here's the thing. We live in Los Angeles. And one of the fun things about paying 4 times more for your house than everybody else on planet Earth is that you do once in a while, you see famous people and it feels really exciting. There's no anybody that's like, oh my God, it's not that big of a deal. It's so full of shit because every time you see someone that's like really famous, your stomach kind of like, you get like butterflies. And there's always that one person too. This is my favorite. There's always that one person that was like, I was in the line at the bank and George Clooney was behind me and I didn't know. I was like, bullshit.
You
absolutely didn't know. And you kept turning around to stare at him.
Quoting me.
Well, I don't buy it. Not that guy, because everybody knows him.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody really is shorter. like, or way taller. It's very confusing because you're like, wait, Tom Cruise is not 6'4"?
That's
What?
right. That's right. I did get on a plane one time and Colin goes, "Oh my God." And I was like, "What?" And I looked around and I literally didn't know who this human was. And I looked him square in the face and I was like, "I think you're somebody. You're in first class. Maybe you're fancy." And it was, now I'm going to forget his name because I don't know.
There's going to be a lot of this
Creedence
episode.
Clearwater Revival, one of those guys.
Oh, Bob Seger?
Fogerty.
Oh,
I don't know.
Dan Fogerty.
Yeah, something like that. And Colin was like,
Bob Seger
I don't know what's more embarrassing. The fact that you skip staring at him or that you don't know who he is. I'm like, let's go back to Coach, husband.
You know what, Colin? I wasn't listening to music 20 years before my day when I was in college, and you were. So let's
If it's a sports person or a music person, I don't know who you are. Well, if it's a movie person or a TV person, maybe even a TikTok person.
Oh, geez. My husband would be like, hey, look at that person. They were second extra on that scene in Pulp Fiction. Like, he knows it.
I know.
Me, literally, I cannot tell Glenn Close and what's the other one? Meryl Streep apart. I can't, you guys. When he gets really pissed off, but it's not my wheelhouse. You know what?
God.
I can tell you pretty much everybody's kids' birthdays that I'm friends with. But if you want to know like famous people's names, I don't know them.
They'll come to me. If you want shelves or side tables, go to her. You want famous people, come to me. It's my thing.
We only have limited capacity in our brains.
Right. So we're going to talk about some celebrity sightings we've had in LA that have been pretty awesome. And do we start with the cool one? The coolest one we got to do as of late?
I want to say how I ended up in LA.
Okay.
Do you know this story?
I don't know.
Okay. So
hold on a second. Is my son playing the piano right now? And can we hear it?
I don't hear it. This is where ADD works, not for me.
Sorry. Okay, moving on.
Literally, I don't even hear myself talking right now.
Well, I don't have a huge house in Los Angeles. Otherwise, there would be wings and I would have my own.
Let's pause for a second. Oh my God, I don't hear anything. I really don't.
If I go out there, you have to stop recording because there will be a marital.
Those kids are never going to be able to sneak out of the house because you're like,
oh, no, I know. My neighbor kids can't sneak out of the house. I'm like, I hear a noise.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like the neighborhood ring app. I can't. I'm like, John, move your car.
You're like, number one, I've seen you. Number two, put a bra on.
Yep.
What are you doing out here?
That's absolutely right.
Ugh,
okay.
You're that lady. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I feel like I haven't met Stevie Nicks, but I need to like put it out there.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, she really wants to take a bath. Meet.
No, all the above. But before I God, this has nothing to do with it, but I do want to meet Stevie Nicks because I saw her in Omaha before I moved to LA.
Yeah.
On October 3rd, 2003, and I did not cut my hair for 10 years because I wanted it to look like hers in that show. But I thought this was interesting that, okay, so I saw Stevie Nicks, and then about 3 months later, I was like, I'm going to move to LA.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I took my mom to like scope out the area, which was a huge mistake. You guys don't go plan to move 1,500 miles away from your mom and take her with you because she will be a psycho bitch.
She'll just put a lot of obstacles in the way. She'll be like, is this really?
No. She's going to have 2 margaritas at a Drew Carey stand-up show and ruin your life. She's just as that person. That's who she is, okay? That's how moms are put together, okay? So but the fun thing was, I was like, I want to move to LA, but when you first move here, it's so discouraging and so overwhelming.
It's so big.
It doesn't make sense because if you go to Italy, you're like, it kind of makes sense that this is hard because I don't speak Italian, but you come to LA and it doesn't make sense, and it should, but it doesn't.
And it's so expensive. And I remember I worked like a dog the whole summer before I moved to LA. I'd been saving for the year. You know, I finished up college, had a summer to like work 14 hours a day, did that, saved up $3,500, and my car shit the bed in Tucumcari, New Mexico. And my folks were like, this was your move.
We knew you'd be back.
We knew you should come back here and just be a teacher and get married. And I was like, nope, I will literally, you know what? I can figure this out. So
here's what's confusing.
Your money goes so fast.
I'm going to put it into antiquated terms like as far as like what rent and stuff like that, like move-in costs are.
Yeah.
For when I moved to LA, what?
No.
17, 18
Oh, yeah.
years ago
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I found a place, a 1-bedroom apartment that was not
Which
fancy.
is fancy.
Well, yes,
It's fancy if you're
but
moving here and you can be in a 1-bedroom, because usually you move here to be in a 1-bedroom with 8 people.
yeah, once you've lived here and your standards are certain, like
You're
they're
like,
so
I'll
low.
pay $50 for a
But, like,
closet.
most places in the rest of the US, except for like New York, Chicago, you pay $1,500. You're getting a 3-bedroom with like lofted ceilings. You're getting a penthouse.
Yes.
This was so bad. And not only was it $1,500, it was first, last, and security deposit.
It's so
we're talking
expensive.
$4,500. And I had a dog, so they dinged me for like $500.
Already you need to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Already you moved here to fulfill your dreams and you need to be a doctor
Yeah.
to afford it.
Already. Like, it's that expensive. So I come out here with my mom, and it was like total like nightmare. I was so discouraged. I was like, I can never afford this. This place is too big. It's too crazy. I can't do it. So we go to have one of those like mother-daughter talks at like a yogurt shop up on Sunset Boulevard.
This is a terrible idea. This is literally a terrible idea.
I know, it sounds like
I don't know why.
she was going to talk to me about that not so fresh feeling.
But also, this is literally like,
me and my mom having a heart-to-heart is the worst conversation you can ever have.
But your mother, who wants you to come back to the place that you grew up in.
Basically, if you move here, you're going to die.
This is a terrible idea.
Now, granted, if I would have moved to LA when I was 22, I would have been in porn and murdered twice by the time I was 23. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. But I was like older. I owned a house. Like, I was a kid moving out here. Like, I knew kind of what I was doing. And we go to this yogurt shop, and I'm crying outside of this yogurt shop.
No.
And I was like, this is what I thought I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be here. I don't want to be where I'm at. I feel like a square pegging around. Like, I love you. I love my family. I love all my friends, but this isn't where I want to be. And I'm bawling, and she's eating ice cream, and she's like, yeah, it's working out exactly as I planned.
This is exactly how I had it planned out.
And who walks up?
Who?
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
With a parrot on his shoulder.
No.
Let me back it up.
Way.
When I was a child, a small, demure, blonde child with like a French cottage sort of bedroom, I had kiss stickers that I got in trouble for sticking all over the side of my wardrobe.
Stickers are really hard to get off furniture,
They're really,
just so you know.
I get it now, but at the time I was like, what is the matter with you? I was like part of Kiss Nation. I would spend like my quarters to get those stickers. I got Kiss stickers out of cereal one time. And I feel like I used to keep my crayons. My kids have theirs in a Muppet lunchbox.
Yours was in a Kiss
lunchbox
God bless
that I got
you.
at a garage sale. I love Gene Simmons as much as I can love
he's
anybody.
Been awesome forever.
Anybody, yeah. And like
what a sign.
The good, pure Gene Simmons, not like the girl. Not like, and
no, man. I think the dirty Gene Simmons is the Gene Simmons, and I'm on board.
That's who you're getting. But I feel like God talks to you in ways that you will hear. And in that moment, he walks up to, he didn't even walk up to us. He was looking at us like, why aren't you coming over? You should know who I am, kind of deal. And my mom was like, who's that? That looks like somebody famous. I told all the girls from the med center that I was going to get
a famous person around.
And I was like, so unhappy with my life that I was like, whatever, it's Gene Simmons. He's my idol. I've loved him. Like, loved him in a very pure way. Didn't want to marry him. Just was like, I want to hang out with him and like wear
and he would love you in a
makeup.
very impure way. It's fine.
Maybe not. Or maybe he'd be like,
you're
very hard to
together?
deal with. But we can do makeup together. One of the two. At any rate.
Truth.
I was like, that's Gene Simmons. And she was like, I got to get a picture with him because I go home tomorrow.
Did she get a picture with him?
Oh my God. I'll try to find them, you guys.
Oh my God. You have to find that picture.
Because so we go up to him and he is so gracious and he's so kind and he has a fucking parrot on his shoulder. you guys, a parrot on his shoulder, like he's a pirate. And he put his arm around my mom. He's so tall. Like,
Yeah,
like I
he
said,
really
he's
is
like
tall.
really
He
surprisingly
really
tall.
is tall.
And my mom was like giggly and giddy.
She's like,
and
okay, maybe you should stay. Okay, but just stay at his house.
no, she of course did not think I should stay. But I was like, can you stick your tongue out for one of the? He was being such a gentleman for all of them. But I was like, kind of, I don't think anybody's gonna know who you are if you don't do this. So when she brings us back to Nebraska to
he has a parrot on his shoulder.
anesthesiology,
He's like, who wants a picture?
right? He was peacocking totally.
It just happened to be a parrot.
And then when I got in there for the picture finally, because I literally had like bags under my eyes. I had been crying so hard in front of this yogurt shop. He goes, "Where are you from, my dear?" And I go,
that sounds just like him. He's so sweet.
He really is. He sounds like a poet. He's not, but he sounds like it. And he goes, "Where are you from, my dear?" And I go, "I'm from Nebraska." He goes, "Omaha?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I was once in love with a woman from Omaha."
Oh my God, they all loved someone from Omaha.
That's why I know. That's why that like Stevie Nicks, like that moment there was so like,
Yeah.
that there was something like powerful about that moment. And so he goes, "You don't belong there, my dear. You belong here.
Oh, what a
You should
sign.
live here." And I was like, I'm moving to Los Angeles. And I don't
God,
care
that's a
what
great-
happens. Like I listened in that moment to like,
Sometimes you just need to listen to somebody that's going to say the right thing that you want to hear. You just need to know. Like,
yeah.
my dad was really good about that when I moved to LA because I would call him and be like, "I'm moving home. I'm going to be a teacher." And he's like, "Okay, that sounds good." And my mom would be like, "Okay, I'm going to open up that guest room for you." And then my dad,
yeah. We'll go-
and then she'd be like, "She said she was coming home." My dad said, "Terry, she's not coming back. She just needs to know she can."
yeah.
Give her.
Oh,
Like,
that's
and my mom
fun.
was like, "Well, that's a horse shit. If she says one thing, she needs to follow through." Oh my
Yeah.
God, our golden retriever is literally growling at our door.
I think you guys, we ordered Vitellos because
We're gonna
that
order.
dog growls. I didn't even know that.
She gurgles with Daisy for hours, and all they do is go.
I ordered us some really bad for you food because I felt like we needed that to enjoy that. Also, this is a very Hollywood thing. So we ordered the food from Vitello's, which is where
what's his name? Did he
Phil
just die?
Spector just died.
No, not Phil Spector.
Oh.
The other one. Oh gosh.
Wait,
was
no.
it Phil Spector?
It was Phil Spector, yeah. He murdered his Bonnie Blakely.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold.
You got to look it up.
Casey Vitello. Can you look up Vitello's? It's a different guy.
Who ate it?
Robert, somebody.
Oh.
I almost scrubbed your boob. I was like, Robert, Freddy Krueger's sweater. Robert, somebody. Anyway, he murdered her in a
He might
parking
as
lot.
well be Phil Spector. No, around the corner, like probably over
Well,
here.
you know what?
Probably in front of your house. And you know what? That
That's how I
golden
got in.
retriever would not growl like
Not
that
at all.
because she's too friendly.
Too friendly. She'd be
Yeah.
like, "Come in, have a spot of tea, won't you?"
But there are all these weird like hobnobs that you will have in Los Angeles, and trust me, they never get old.
It's
or
awesome.
they never feel like they're not exceptional. They always, to me, because I read too much into shit, and I think you will see from all of my
Everything has
stories
a
from
meaning.
today that it all is like some meaning or some sign or something like that. And I know that the celebrities themselves probably don't feel that way, but just so you know, this is what you do to people.
You know what, though, I say to that is like, yes, I can understand that nowadays that fame is so big because you can't get a moment we big fans of Jennifer Garner, and she did this really wonderful interview, and she's so nice and open, but she did say that like she would take the kids to church and there would be these paparazzi out with cameras and they look like guns and her son would get scared, and like that's no way to live. But on the other side of that, people who handle their fame and are gracious, they move mountains. Like the people that do give kids the world and all this. But
I'm really into vitamins, you guys. I take a lot of vitamins, and I used to take all these course pills, and I don't have to anymore because I'm having a delicious green drink in the morning called Athletic Greens, and I'm trying to get all my friends and family to take it because I'm a pusher of vitamins.
That's true, but you don't have to hard
work that well.
But you don't have to hard sell this because it is actually pretty great. It tastes really good. And you know that every day that you start your day with Athletic Greens, you're doing something good for yourself.
With so many stressors in life, it's difficult to maintain effective nutritional habits and give our bodies the nutrients that it needs to thrive. Busy schedules, poor sleep, or simply not eating enough of the right foods. And that's why I love how easy Athletic Greens is.
And let me tell you something else. Just one scoop of Athletic Greens contains 75 vitamins, minerals, including probiotics, a green superfood blend, and more that all work together to increase your energy and focus, aid with digestion, and support a healthy immune system.
And now Athletic Greens is doubling down on supporting your very own immune system during the winter months. They're offering our audience a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packets with your first purchase.
Simply visit athleticgreens.com/IMOMSOHARD. That's athleticgreens.com/IMOMSOHARD and get your free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs today with your first purchase.
You know how there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now?
Mm-hmm.
And that can lead to depression, anxiety, or just scary thoughts that I can't turn off sometimes because I am prone to anxiety as it is. I've never been more grateful to have a therapist who helps me navigate all those different feelings that come up. And it's amazing how much better things can feel when you have an unbiased, licensed professional there to listen and tell you, like, you're going to be okay.
That's absolutely true. And right now, I really appreciate Talkspace because they make it so accessible. And I feel like that's the biggest hurdle is feeling like you can't get to a therapist. But now they make it literally as easy as a text message. And it absolutely helps.
I think the really cool thing about it is you can reach somebody 24 hours a day.
Absolutely. I like that you can sort of swipe through the different therapists and find one that feels like it's a good fit for you. So Talkspace is the #1 online therapy platform that has thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including anxiety, depression, relationships, and more. Your therapist can help you set and achieve your goals.
As a listener of our podcast, you get $100 off your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com or download the app. Make sure to use the code MOM to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's mom and Talkspace.com.
I'm going to talk about my first one, which is, I think, a big one, and it has a full circle, and you're involved. Okay.
What?
So when I first moved to LA, the known thing is you never went to the cool clubs or the cool places unless you had friends visiting because you can't afford it.
That's what I was going to say. How are you going to get in or afford it?
I mean, I was going to like basically Chili's. And then when my friends from out of town would come in, I'd be like, oh man, this is a chance to really go to like Hollywood. So so my friend Danelle and her new husband, Greg Weeder, Elkhorn, Nebraska, Weeder
Pediatric dentistry.
Pediatric dentist, highly recommend. Yeah. My friend Danelle, who I've known since I literally was born, her dad was my dad's best man, and I love her to death. And they came out to visit me in LA, and I was so broke. So I saved for months knowing
Y'all don't know what broke is till you've lived in Los Angeles,
We're talking like just my roommate and I used to split, like Ruben and I used to split an entree from pickup sticks. Because we were because that was big, they were big portions, and we were
they're
so
really delicious
broke. That was
too.
$8.
Oh my God.
So we were broke.
Here's the other thing is in LA, you can have money and it still doesn't do you any good.
It still doesn't do it.
Like everything's so expensive that you're like, I'm still $10 away from eating today.
Yeah. $21 for a drink.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm going to bring a flask in like a real classless biatch.
I remember my friend, after I'd lived in LA for like 2 years, my friends Leigh and Michaela got married and their reception was at the Tangier Shrine. And
Forget it.
Yeah. I mean, it might as well be free. It's like the VFW, like in terms of how much drinks cost. But I didn't have perspective. So I went up there with $21 in one hand and a credit card in the other hand. And I said to the bartender, I was like, I want to buy drinks for my table. Let's start with this 21 and then we'll see what's left on this card, basically. And he was like, that'll be $11. And I was like,
that's whenever you go back to Nebraska, you're like, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
So I was very broke. Danelle and Greg come out I'm like, I'm going to go to places I've never been. I can't wait for them to be here. So we went to Birds and La Poubelle on Franklin.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
am I saying
yeah.
that right? On Franklin.
Birds.
Over
Yeah.
by UCB.
Yeah. And by the
this place,
Scientology Center.
and
Look
this
out.
place is like really fancy and cool. And it's like kind of a scene. And like, I was like, oh God, I hope we see somebody famous because that would be so neat.
Well, let me say this. It's called Birds because they just serve
we were
different.
at La Poubelle, which is the French place right next to it.
Oh, yeah.
But we did go to Birds all the time.
Birds, they just serve chicken, you guys.
And that's
so
my
you're
joint.
like,
That's
oh,
my
it's
jam.
called Birds because it's chicken.
But the French joint
but La
next door.
Poubelle, yes.
Yeah,
I have
real
very
fancy.
good memories of that place.
Really
Love
fancy.
it. Yeah.
I'd only been there once and have only been there once, and it was that time. So we go out, and I'm sitting at the bar, and we're having the best time. And I just remember feeling so homesick, and having Danelle and Greg there was so great. And then I have a phone. At the time, it was in one of the Nokias with the little tiny antenna.
So small. Yeah.
It was small, and there was like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like that stupid ring.
Yeah.
And at the time, first of all, your cell phone was super expensive, and you had to pay per minute.
Yeah. You were like, I've got 30 included in my plan.
You did not text.
Yeah.
So at this point, if you made a call, it cost you money. So guess what I did not do? Make a lot of calls. I had a landline, so I wasn't going to so anyway, I have this phone. It's for emergencies or whatever. Everybody has them. I don't have anyone to call. I have the phone, and it's on the bar sitting next to me. And all of a sudden, this big, handsome, burly man comes in, grabs my phone, and asks me if he can use it to make a call. And when I turn around, it's Vince Vaughn.
What?
And he is at his prime in the heat zone, right? And then
okay,
he
different from now.
What I still find him
Because
so
we always
attractive
see him at
he's such
holiday parties.
Well, now you're gonna ruin it, you butthole.
Okay.
We don't always see him because I did not. But hold on, he goes out in the front of La Poubelle and uses my phone, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys, Vince Vaughn's using my phone. This
and
is
he
fun.
was so hot, at
so
that
hot,
time
and
too.
so drunk. And all of a sudden, I'm 15 minutes in, and I'm doing the math, and I'm like, Vince Vaughn's been on my phone for a really long time.
If
and this
he
is
doesn't
going to cost me
buy all of these
$32.
drinks, oh my God.
And so he comes back in. I go, hey man, I finally kind of got it. So Vince Vaughn comes back in. I was like, hey man, can I get my phone? And so then we kind of got into a little argument.
How does Vince Vaughn not have a cell phone? If you do,
know.
how does he not have one?
I don't know. So he uses my
He doesn't
phone.
seem like somebody that charges it regularly, if I have to say.
I'm going to tell you right now, it was a $32 phone call. And I was livid because he had just done a bunch of movies and made a bunch of money. And I was working at Clancy's Crab Shack.
Ooh, you know what that'll
So-
buy you at TJ Maxx? A lot,
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn.
So
I don't know if you know that, but
Hey, fancy guy, it's all fun and games until you cost me. I've got no food now. I'm going to be on cup of noodles for 2 weeks. So
there
then,
goes my HBO.
So Danelle and Greg are so excited because
Yeah.
this was swingers.
That
the
was
era.
worth the
It was- right.
trip for
All
them.
I kept saying to myself was, it's going to be so high.
Oh
So
God, I
then,
can't imagine.
Cut
I know
to last year, best Christmas party ever, and I'm a couple drinks in, and I look up, and there's Vince Vaughn, and I think to myself, wait a minute, am I at a party with Vince Vaughn? How cool am I? Who invited me? Why am I here? Jen has convinced me to switch shoes because you felt short.
You guys, truth be told, I've switched shoes with Kristin because I wore
Flats.
Christmas shoes because I thought but then I was shorter than everybody.
And she regrets
Vince
it.
Vaughn's like 6'5", you guys. I don't know if you know that. Like, it's
He's
shocking
so tall.
how tall people are. And I've also made very good friends with the bartender, and I'm trying to get her work. So cue me standing by the bar, passing out her card.
Right.
That is what I do at Christmas parties because
So-
that's who I am.
Then Jen is wearing my shoes. I'm fine. I see Vince Vaughn. I dial in. I go, hey, man, really happy for all your success. Let's cut to the chase. You owe me $32 from a cell phone call that you made outside of La Poubelle. And he goes,
you say that
yes,
to
absolutely.
Oh, God, love
and
you.
I was like, when I come to this party next year.
Do you have any recollection? None, right?
What?
Did he remember
No,
it?
but I gave him detailed play-by-play, and I know he wanted to talk to other people, and he just humored me. But you know what? $32 was a lot of money for a 23-year-old. And I was like, look, man, I'm probably a little chubbier than I was when we met last. I'm definitely less charming, but you still owe me. And by the way, so are you. So let's just
Yeah.
Let's just cut
let
what
me break
it
it
is.
down for you.
You owe me $32, and with interest, that's probably $5,000.
No
So
joke. This is what
can I
that
have
guy
your
does
money?
not understand. $32 phone call like that. Like Verizon will ruin your credit. Like you won't be able to buy a house in 15 years for that fucking phone call, Vince.
Yeah.
Number two, this chick
How dare
has
you.
got a purse that's $8 that she bought from
Yeah.
Target.
And I'm still using it.
Yeah. So you waltzing in here.
All cool. Take
to
my
use-
Nokia.
Yeah.
Go loose. He goes, and by the way, I just want to clear up the story because everyone's like, well, why didn't you just call the person he called? I promise you I did 100 times until they disconnected their phone.
Yeah.
I was like,
they got
is
a
Vince
new
there?
phone because that's what
Do you know
happens when
Vince
you have
Vaughn?
money.
He owes me for my phone call. And they're like,
Yeah.
what?
He promised me that he was going to reimburse me.
Yeah.
And
And he actually didn't. He just used my phone and left. And I was like, that might work if we had slept together,
So,
but that does not work for
you know
cell
what?
phone use.
Vince Vaughn, you need to be on our podcast and we know how to get to you. And also, every single
Can you
year,
imagine if we had his phone number right now and call him?
we can get it. It's a text away, literally. So
She wouldn't give it to us. She'd be
year,
like, no way.
we
I
are
know
at
you
the
guys
same
are.
Christmas party, and I know what Christmas party, you know what it is. I know what it is. And every year I do the same thing because this is how much I don't know celebrities. I will be super high because that's the one time a year where I somehow inevitably get high and I don't know
Because
how
they
that
have
happens.
edibles there. It's such a fancy
And then I'm
party
like, oh, I
that
love
you can have
candy. And then all of
edibles.
a sudden I'm like,
Why does everybody look like a Pegasus?
why am I wearing somebody else's shoes
They're
and so
Kristin
invested
shoes.
in a bartender? So
You
I
were invested in that bartender. You just kept trying to give her.
I
She's
know.
like,
I'm
I don't want you.
sure she's got
Stop
me at
trying to give me bartender work. I'm
retaining
fine.
order against me or something. But she was from Missouri or
I
something.
know.
So I
You were
felt
just
like,
being
yeah.
sweet. You're just feeling for her what everybody should have felt for
Yeah,
us.
because I was like, let me tip you whatever is in my purse right now because I know how hard it is to move here. It's
I
so
know.
hard. But every time I'm at that party,
Famous
and
people.
it's not a ton of, well, it is some famous people because here's two examples, and I won't even know this guy's name, but so Vince Vaughn is at this Christmas party every year, and every year I look at him and he looks at me and we both smile and do a nod.
Because you're like, I've
and-
seen you 5 times.
Nope.
I just got my first invite
I do
last year.
this thing where I'm like, uh-oh, that's somebody that my husband knows and I should know who he is. So I need to figure out what his name is so that when we are close
Talk.
to each other by the shrimp cocktail, I can act like I know who,
He
catch
is.
up a little bit. And I swear to God, he does the exact same thing with me every year.
He's like,
And it's
"Oh."
only because we've seen each other for 3 seconds and there's that moment of recollection where you're like, I've seen this human before. Although I should know who he is because I've seen him for hours on movies and he should not know who I am.
Unless
other
he's
than
watching
that,
I'm Up So Hard because he is married. And
he
you know
might
what?
be-
Sometimes he
he
might
also be like,
into
I see that
real
girl once a
women.
year and she's high wearing somebody else's shoes every
year.
It's
and
so
that
bizarre.
would be that's peacocking for him. That's literally like a turn on. He'd be like, I'm into her. Because honestly, so Vince Vaughn, I'm a huge fan, but I still am owed money. So we are not done. And he does owe us
We'll
a
get
podcast
back to
call.
that because
We're gonna circle back to him.
we all know Carrie Clifford. Listen to her podcast.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
it called?
What's her podcast called?
Look it up. We'll look it up and we'll tell you guys.
Bless her. Now
It's-
she's gonna feel like we just blasted her party and she's not gonna have it again. Or she's not
Why?
gonna invite us.
No, at her party, there are people where I'm like, thank God I finally met you. We've been Facebook friends for 4 years.
I go there and I'm like, I've never felt more cool.
It's
This
a
is
very
like a
cool
party that I never get invited to.
Very
I think I'm a
cool.
security risk.
Maybe.
I
Because you
never
don't know.
ask for
Look,
pictures, but I do ask for friendship.
she kept calling that Vince Vaughn phone call back.
I
and that's
did
a different.
100 times.
We were at, I'm not going to say who this was because,
No.
I'm not going to say who
Is
this
this when I act like an asshole? Oh boy, here we go.
which time. There's
Mhm.
so many, I'm not going to say what celebrity it is because I literally can't remember his name. But I won't say the couple whose wedding it was. But I was in a very bad place. It was when my dog Venus was very sick. And that was all that was on the forefront of my mind. She
Oh,
had
yeah.
cancer. And so I went to this wedding with my then boyfriend, now husband. And I sat next to someone who is a television star.
And you didn't
And
know?
I go, oh, we've met before, right? But I literally,
Do you go
I
to
think,
Yoga Works?
I think I asked him if he worked at the donut shop
God,
by me because
that
I
feels
could
fair.
not place who this dude was,
I
whatsoever.
can place a celebrity from 50
I know
freaking
you're
clicks.
good at it. I have more though.
I see a profile on a plane. I've got you want to hear, this is.
Yeah. I got a list, but I got to find it because I had one that I was like, oh,
here's
that's gonna
one
make
that I
sense.
hope this guy listens and he's like, man, I made the list. So my mom, I was a PA forever.
Boy.
Which is
It's a production assistant.
And which was very cool. And I worked at Warner Brothers and I just loved it there. You know, I'm such a dork that I'm like, I belong somewhere. I have a community of people. So I was a PA. I was literally the lowest person on the totem pole.
It's still fun. It's a very entry level job. It's like an
into
intern.
the movie business.
Right. It's
but
exciting.
I'm getting coffees. Yeah. I've like literally cleaned up dog shit. I had to go find Pokemon cards in the rain. Like, it is not a job that you feel.
If you love the business, you'll do it. No matter what.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. So I was a PA at Warner Brothers on my very first job, and my mom was so proud of me. This is where they turn, you know. At first, they're like, LA's it's a mistake. You shouldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, you're like, Mom, I'm working on a movie with George Clooney. She's like, I'm taking a flight.
Finally, something I can tell the bridge club
I'm
about.
just telling everybody at the old office.
Oh my God.
She did tell somebody that I think she got a free mammogram because she told a story about George Clooney.
Casey, if you would get me some ice, I seriously will give you my next born child. I think we all know what that means, but
that's not going to happen because she's got I got
an IUD, and I think
now the story's going sideways because we all want to know that somebody sleeps together. So I worked at Warner Brothers. I was very excited to work there. I got to know every single person. Literally, the accounting department was like, no other human has ever been in these
Everybody
offices.
gets this.
You guys, what do you do? Like, what do you do?
Do.
And it's like
all
the
the
big
heights will hit on with the show.
Exactly.
This is it.
And
That's
there's
Warner
the
Brothers,
water
you guys.
tower.
Yes.
And there's like
it's as
studio
big as you
stages,
think it is.
and it's awesome. And it's just everything about it feels so cool. And I remember being so young and so scared and like, but I felt very safe there because it's like, it's people working regular jobs. They just happen to be working for the movies, but it seemed very cool. And it let some moms and dads, and it was very cool. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm working at Warner Brothers. I've made it. And she goes, well, I'm going to bring my 4 sisters out and we're going to make a
shit. I know what this
my
means.
Mom, my Aunt Mary Lou, my Aunt Marge, my Aunt Rainey, my Aunt Joey.
Where's the keynote parlor?
Yeah, Joey was like, if you come to the bar or if you pick us up from the airport and you don't have Coors Light, you can just turn your car around and go get it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember I brought them Pacifico and my Aunt Joey was like, what the hell is this garbage? Go get Coors Light. And I was like, I don't need your fancy LA beer. So I took him to the Warner Brothers lot. I told my aunts, I said, you can't take pictures. I'm getting a drive on for us because I asked my boss and he said I could take the golf cart.
You have to play it so cool.
But you cannot. You can't look like we're on a tour because I'm going to get in trouble. And they're like, yeah, absolutely not. They show up all wearing matching shirts.
Wait.
They all wear matching shirts. And I wore one too. They got
break down the names of the aunts again. I feel like
my Aunt Mary Lou, my Aunt Marge, my Aunt Joey, my Aunt Rainey.
Sounds like such a good time, you guys.
It was such a good time.
With her mom, Terry.
So with my mom, Terry, they all look the same. They all have the same hair. Except different shades, dark hair, blonde hair, but they all look the same. They're all Van Ans. They're ornery. So we go to set, or we go
by ornery, she means
naughty,
really fun.
Really fun.
Yeah.
And we go to Warner Brothers. I'm like sweating bullets. I'm like, Mom, honestly, we gotta, Mary Lou can't swear. Like we gotta like play it cool. And they're wearing matching, they've got all this out and they're like, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh God. So like, they look like, crystal balls walking through these. And so we go to the commissary, which by the way, is just a cafeteria. There's nothing cool about it. We're just going to grab a quick bite.
Yeah. Commissary, like army terms.
Literally commissary.
Yeah.
And so we grab a tray to get some food, all wearing matching shirts like assholes. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, in front of us is Noah Wiley from ER. Literally just grabbing a lunch. He's shooting ER like 2 studios away.
Who?
Isn't John Carter from ER. I know. If you don't watch,
guys, I don't know celebrities.
So I look at him and I'm like, oh God, no, please don't turn around. Because my mom loves ER. And they're talking about it. And all of a sudden he turns around and my Aunt Mary Lou has like a flash camera in his face that like is one of those bulb cameras that goes.
She has to like change the flash like it's a Polaroid.
Okay.
That's a 110. I can tell by the sound.
And then all of a sudden they called security.
No.
And they go, there were 5 women wearing the same shirt on set. And so they came up and I said, I'm so sorry. And my aunts are laughing so hard. And I think Noah Wyle was actually really cool and very flattered that they all, but there is somewhere in the world a close up of Noah Wile's forehead because they're not even in the picture.
Hey, guess what, Noah Wyle? I don't know who the fuck you are. So feel flattered.
Yeah, that was my day at Warner Brothers with my aunts. And
I love that.
2 of them have passed away. And so
God,
I'm really happy to
memory.
have those memories. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. That's lovely. And they remember that forever too, which is
we had
super
such
fun about that.
And it was fun to see my mom with her sisters. And also they give her a really hard time, which is great for me.
Oh, I remember. So when you were talking about being at the bar and Vince Monte, okay, so I have
Still
notes.
mad about it. Don't bring it up anymore if you want me to get over it.
We have to take notes because we forget stuff. We get so sidetracked. So, I was at, Bree, who we both know, dear, dear friend, the awesomest. Hi. So she worked at like 4 Seasons or something like
what's
that.
up?
I don't know what it was. It was
fancy.
Yeah, it was so great.
I'd get that discount so fast.
She would be like, if you come to the bar and don't embarrass me.
Jen, you get
I can
2
give you,
glasses of champagne max.
Yeah. Whatever's left from last night that I would have to dump otherwise, you can have.
Real cheap.
She had was working near where I lived. So Kristin and I, when we met, we lived in Venice, which is by Marina del Rey, which is like this big boat marina.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it also has all these like high-rise apartments that are like, I think just like breeding grounds for different
it's a weird
variants of herpes for like really old 70s people.
Yep.
Right?
That's accurate.
Right? Okay.
That's absolutely accurate.
So she bartended there like a couple nights and I was like, God, I can walk there. Of course I'm going to be there if you get free.
Yeah, it's the 4 Seasons.
My gosh, the more I think about it, the more I think you might have been with me when this happened.
Okay.
Let's see if this rings a bell. Okay. So it was not busy, you guys. The bar was not that packed.
Okay.
Very fancy hotel bar. Bree's bartending and keeps giving me the like stiff jaw, like keep it cool. And I'm looking and I see this guy, very average looking, like a little bit like anemic looking, but he's got these 2 models hanging on him, like literally like barely dressed models.
You never know what
him.
that is.
Yeah. So I was like, well, either this is Kid Rock or this is like somebody famous, right?
I
think you know my opinion on the topic, right? I think I've just laid all my cards out.
Yeah,
right there.
I think she just did a really nice roundabout, humble.
You're welcome. I don't know
kicking
who
the balls to Kid Rock.
Is.
Kid Rock or somebody famous. Fuck you, Kid Rock.
So this is.
If you want to be on our podcast, give us a call. We'll still have you to guest.
You know what, Kid Rock? You would love being on our podcast, honestly. Because I actually know, I do know a funny thing about Kid Rock. Even when he's like shooting videos where he's like doing strippers, all that kind of stuff, he goes home and makes his own dinner.
What a weirdo.
Right?
But lovely. Caterer, you got dough.
I know.
No, that feels
he's
weird.
He's not like that. So, anyways, we're at this bar and I'm like getting slightly lit because I got free booze going on.
Getting a free buzz.
And I'm very curious about who this guy is with these not English speaking models hanging off
Who
of him.
is it? I don't think I'm there.
Well, he did this weird thing at one point where I just felt like he was like owning the space and like being too big, and his arm was somehow in front of me.
Ew.
But I literally don't feel like I was that close to him.
This
like
better be
physically.
a good payoff. Who is it?
I don't know. If it depends on what side.
If you say like Hulk Hogan, I'm gonna freak.
No. So this arm goes in front of me, and it has this eagle tattooed on it, like a freshly tattooed eagle.
Gross.
No, not gross.
Was there a weird?
No, but I see it. And a friend of mine from Omaha, who is a very big part of the Polish community, just had the Polish eagle tattooed on his arm and had like sent me a picture, or I saw it on Facebook. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, oh, I know that eagle. So he's in my space, taking up my space. So I said to him, I go, oh, is that the
Polish eagle?
Polish eagle? And he whips his arm back, and like the air in the room turned to fucking ice, you guys.
Who is it? This is killing me.
He goes,
Dolph Lundgren?
no, it's the Russian eagle. And he like,
I already don't like him.
it was Sergey Fedorov, the hockey player.
Who's that?
He's, if you watch hockey, he's like the most famous hockey player besides Wayne Gretzky. He's Russian, you guys.
Jesus.
And I didn't recognize him.
I thought that was going to have such a better payoff. Oh my God.
You don't know who Sergey Fedorov is?
I don't know him. I don't
in that moment
know
when he
him.
said it's Russian, I was like, it's Sergey fucking Fedorov. And you're right, sir. I should have been more polite to you. I should not have.
I say, sir, play a sport I care about.
But also, I was like, wait, let's not act like being Polish is not that cool, man. Like, let's.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that he said that were.
Let's break it down
not
a little
cool.
bit, man.
He got real defensive about a Polish eagle. Poland isn't that far from Russia, is it?
Yeah, I'm like, you want to have a spelling contest with any of the girls that you're talking to right now? Because I'm fucking game, man.
I don't even know what Sergey. That's upsetting. I would have literally. I wish it would have been like Sylvester Stallone or
now
something.
I feel bad because we're gonna get all these messages where
from angry Russians.
No, but from hockey fans that are like, don't compare Wayne Gretzky and Sergey Fedorov. But
I don't think you were supposed to say that.
You guys, this was
I don't
like
even know
15 years ago, and he was a big deal.
I know that Wayne Gretzky is a hockey player.
You know what? And now
they win a cup.
Now that I know who he is, I can see where he's attractive. But also, he's like really fucking lame and not like. You've got such a small audience. Be entertaining, man.
Be better.
Can you like make a rose out of a cocktail napkin or something?
You tell him to go
dopey
fuck
like
himself.
You know what I might have? I literally might have. All I know is that Bree was like, "Can you fucking knock it off, man? He's so mad right now." And
I literally would have been. You know me. I would have been like, I got to talk to somebody that I care about.
I don't think I can. Yeah. No, I think that's what happened. I have so many more. You guys, can I tell you more LA stories? One's really important. So. Besides Gene Simmons, and if you want to profile me, that's totally fine. But besides Gene Simmons, the second love of my life as a child was Lou Ferrigno. Not.
Oh my God, you're so old.
It's. I know, you guys. I love the Incredible Hulk. I loved him so much. And I had this. I had such a love for him, and my dad was so great about like indulging me all of these crushes, and he helped me write a letter to Lou Ferrigno when I was a kid.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
I know, and I was like, I think you're great, and he sent me back a letter that was like talked about how he was deaf and stuff like that, and then he sent me this picture that was like his headshot in like a blue velour jumpsuit.
That's amazing. That's everybody's dream. Just to get a picture back.
I kept it by my bedside. And then I lost it and I was so upset. And my friend Marv Pratt sent me a new one. He messaged Lou Ferrigno.
Lou's like, I'm not doing much these days. We've all got 100 headshots that are just hanging out that we're happy to give.
So much
it's
so.
Never an inconvenience. You're like, I have literally 500 from one stack.
We're on Cameo, you guys.
I was wearing a weird.
Okay, you guys. So when I moved to LA, after I had gotten here and like had made the huge down payment of what everything cost to live here, I was still struggling so much.
Of course.
And I went home for Christmas, drove in my Volkswagen Jetta with my dog. I drove home for 3 days because I could not afford a plane ticket.
Insane.
And my dad he gave me a check for like $300 when I was
at the time you're like, oh,
what are you,
can't
a millionaire? Exactly. So I drive back to LA and I am depositing it before any checks that I wrote at the bar in Omaha, like cash or whatever.
Writing checks at the Omaha bar. Hi, can I make this for a little bit over?
I'm going to
I'd like to go to Amigos
for January 7th. Yeah.
Can I just don't cash it right away? Can
Let's
this sit
a couple holidays in there? I know how this works.
A couple days on the front end of this.
So I'm still like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be in Los Angeles. I don't know you guys.
You never know for sure. You literally never feel like.
It felt way over my head. So I come back and the very first thing I do before I even go to my apartment is I go to Wells Fargo to deposit this check.
For $1 million.
And in line in front of me.
No.
No. It gets worse.
Oh.
In line in front of me is a guy who's cutting the line. He's cutting the line in
Please tell me
every
if this story doesn't end the way I need it to. I swear to God, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Who the There's a bar in Omaha that is going to cash my check and make my $7 check be like $35. What is, don't let him go ahead of me. And then I see that he's going into the line that's for the hearing impaired.
Oh, you're a horrible human.
No, strike me by lightning right now. I know, Kristin, I know.
Well, we've all done it. Well, not we haven't. But
He's
I'm just trying to make
high-fiving everybody. He is the nicest person. Everybody in the place knows this guy. He turns the fuck around as I'm questioning my entire life. And it's Lou Ferrigno.
Thank God. Because if you would have said it was a guy that does curling, I would have lost my mind. You'd have been like, it was Henry Dipschlap, who was the curling champion and also deaf from Maluka, Minnesota. Shocking.
It was Lou Ferrigno. And because I believe that God speaks to you in ways that you will listen to, the universe was saying to me, I know that all of this seems impossible, but here you are. And here's another one of your heroes showing you that you are in the right place.
That's a good story with a really nice full circle
and so here
ending.
we are.
It did not
and
disappoint.
That's the end of our podcast. So my hot flash, you guys.
Oh.
My hot flash is Mr. Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, God bless him. And didn't you end up teaching his son?
And then his son, who is also Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Is super hot too, but much younger than me. Much younger.
Much younger than
Lovely, kind one. Like Lou Ferrigno's a soccer coach, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're like, this is the thing is like, celebrities feel like they're really cool or something, but they're such real people, most of them. And if they're not real people, they usually have like some tragic demise. Anyways.
Well, what I wanted to say is that I'm friends with them. That's what I want, bragging rights. So even if they can be as real as they want, but I just want to be with their friends.
Yeah, I want them to come over for like a happy hour. So let's go back. So that is my hot flash. It's Sir Lou Ferrigno, who coaches soccer Santa Monica. What's it called? YEO? What's it called? The soccer?
AYSO.
AYSO.
He's no less of your hero then that he is now. And
still lifting weights,
it wasn't
still busting shirts, you guys.
Soccer player.
You guys follow your dreams because sometimes you run into them at the line.
And if you see Vince Vaughn
at the bank,
I need $38.
$38?
Well,
interest, you guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Good job, lady. Woo!